Hi, welcome to my channel. This is Redbeard Reviews, retro video game reviews. I might shorten it just to Redbeard Reviews. And on this channel, I do movie reviews, video game reviews, old school stuff. And I don't really talk about politics, but I gotta say something in this one. So, of course, Donald Trump got into office, took office on January 20th. It's early February, and he's pushing a lot of immigration reform, a lot of mass deportation kind of stuff, and the liberals are upset. And the question I have is, what nation can you just wander into on this planet? What nation can just wander and apply for a job, vote, go to school, get health care, receive benefits of some nature, and not have to go through customs? Because if I go to Mexico or anywhere in Latin America, I go to China, I go to England, I gotta bring a passport and I gotta go through customs. And I don't disagree with that because I'm gonna use that nation's infrastructure. I'm gonna come in on an airplane and land, or I'm gonna walk in, I'm gonna use the roads if I drive a car, drink water, healthcare, whatever the case, go to school. And that takes tax dollars. So no matter who you are, no matter how you live, you know, you're costing that country tax dollars. In the United States, I don't know about the rest of the world, but if you go to a hospital and you have something potentially lethal or harmful, they can't deny you. They have to treat you. And if you can't pay, you know, guess who's going to? Guess who pays for the hospital? Guess who pays for doctors' training, college, and nurses' training, and so forth? Tax dollars pay in part, at least. So, why is it that here in the United States, and generally speaking, the West, we're so horrible for requiring you to come here legally? And it's because illegal aliens vote illegally. They're not supposed to, but they should. And that affects elections, which in turn affects legislation, which in turn affects, big business makes more money because they have to pay their employees less. A few years ago, or whatever it was, a couple years back, I had this back injury where I was out of work, and I had to. It was a workers' comp claim, so either the company or technically their insurance had to pay for X-rays, MRI, medical treatment, all that stuff by law. I was protected by law. Now, if you come here illegally and you have that same back injury, they can just call ICE and deport you and not have to pay for any of it. So illegal aliens work for lower wage typically and cost less. And sorry about there's lag on this video, but the audio seems clear. So anyway, you don't have to, if you're a company, you don't have to pay illegal aliens the retirement, 401k, all that stuff. You're essentially a modern era slave. Your poverty and desperation is being exploited. Why are the liberals supporting that? Back in the day when I got involved in politics in the early 2000s, or became aware of politics and so forth, political commentators will say, why do we allow this to happen? Because Democrats and Republicans, um, big business gets cheap labor. And then, Democrats get votes. Well, Republicans, except for the rhinos, the mega Republicans, aren't having it. They're opposed to that. Ergo, they're opposed to the agenda of the corporate elite. Why are liberals supporting that? And that's why, when I was in college, I was a liberal, but now I'm a conservative. This is a big part of why. Because the things I stood for, um, the Republicans are like, let's do that. And the liberals are like, no, that's bad. Why? If you come here legally, you have legal protections. I couldn't go down the list, but you could apply for government assistance. So again, you're here on a work visa. You get injured, you're covered by workers' comp. You're here illegally, you aren't, because your employer can't fill out the paperwork and submit it because you're not supposed to be here. And who's coming here by and large? Once in a while, you get a doctor coming from India, but not illegally. It's people coming here illegally or cheap labor. And they're coming from, war zones, war torn countries. They're coming from places of natural disaster, or they're just the poverty, impoverished in their country. They're coming here for a better life. I can understand it. I can appreciate that. But they have no rights. They're free to roam, but they don't have freedom. If there's a crime and they're a witness, they're going to hesitate to call the police and say it was that guy who did it. Why? Because the police are going to be like, "Can I see some ID?" And you're going to get deported again. I apologize, flag. I don't know why it's doing that, but so I'm not understanding from the liberal vantage point why the average liberal person is opposed to legal immigration and wanting those laws enforced. I can understand why the rich want that. Again, cheap labor, easy votes. And if you come here legally, you're going to vote for who? The party that protected your illegal migration. So, I support, as long as it's done properly, I support immigration control and proper enforcement and border control. I like what Donald Trump's doing. And that's my 2 cents on that. So, again, I apologize. I'm looking at my face and it's sitting still while I'm talking and looking around. But something wrong with the internet or something. So those are my 2 thoughts on the matter, and hope you have a good day. Cheers.